Clair Obscur Expedition 33 is one of the greatest things in gaming. Period. There is no discussion. It is everything that we want as gamers. It's no BS, straight to the point, good experiences, no artificial gating of anything. It's an experience. And I absolutely love it for that. And so do so many people. But I know, there are people who are currently saying, Quasar, can you stop gassing up Clair Obscur? Quasar, can you stop glazing? Quasar, insert Gen Z slang here. And my answer to that is no. Obviously not. Why would I stop speaking good about something that is so good, so fresh, so breaking expectations, so disruptive of the AAA industry? Why would I ever choose to stop saying good things about something good? I don't understand that. Of course I'm gonna keep gassing this bad boy up because Clair Obscur Expedition 33 deserves it. End of discussion.
By all industry expectations, Clair Obscur Expedition 33 should not exist. It should be impossible. It certainly shouldn't be as good as it is. This video is a little different, but I wanted to...
That's because the industry is filled with people who couldn't even make a light bulb blink.
To talk about this topic. There's a much bigger video here about this game, focused on the way the combat's designed. They basically took Sekiro and combined it with Persona, and I think that's brilliant. The way the narrative plays out, the art style. But right now, I just wanted to focus a bit on how this game was made and how we, as an industry, need to find a way to do more of this. Unless you've been living under a rock for the last week or so.
The industry's not gonna do anything, okay? The industry is gonna find ways to say that, oh, no. These games that completely break expectations and are successful, unlike Assassin's Creed Shadows, Dragon Age Veilguard, Avowed, and all of these other woke slop fiestas. Unlike that, you know, these games are successful. And they're gonna ignore it. Because, you see, the industry will never admit that something that goes against the industry is successful. Because that would be effectively admitting, hey, all of us working here, yeah, we're fucking idiots. We tell you that we are the people you should look up to. We tell you that we are the people that you should respect. And that we are right about things when we say them. But the reality is, no. The AAA gaming industry has, for years now, been pretty much an abandoned desert. And, well, it's not going to get better anytime soon.
So, you've probably heard of this game by now. Let's be honest, it's kind of a miracle that you did. It's got seemingly everything going against it from a typical industry perspective. Small team, relatively niche gameplay mechanics, very distinct French art style, and...
So, if you don't know who this guy is, I kind of also don't remember him too much, but he's effectively a corpo. Think of him in that way. This guy is some kind of AAA dude, and obviously his perspectives all are going to be literal fucking poison.
And narrative sensibility. Competing for attention in a crazy crowded market, even within its own niche. I mean...
So, effectively, he's currently saying all of this stuff that he's saying is coming from a flawed, stupid perspective of a good game cannot be successful because a good game needs to be all these random arbitrary check marks that we have decided good games should be, even though all of the games that actually sell well ignore pretty much all of these check marks. This is what this guy currently is saying. And that is a wild take.
I mean, they released in the same week that Oblivion Shadow dropped. Understanding why it shouldn't exist according to the current industry tells us a lot about, honestly, what's wrong with game development today. Maybe it's naive, and sure, there was always money involved, but when I first got into games a long time ago, it felt a lot more like following a passion, following something that you loved playing and trying to improve upon it. That felt like the path to success. But over time, a lot of the decision making when it comes to making a game, building something, coming up with a new idea is no longer around would it be fun or even does this game just deserve to exist? It's become much more about is there a market for this? Is there an audience? Is there an opportunity to monetize it? Is there infinite DLC opportunities? How big is the market cap? What crazy technology is it taking advantage?
Wait, how crazy is the success of Clair Obscur? So when I heard that it had 1 million sales, I said, "Oh, it probably already has broken even." Because I thought that Clair Obscur probably was like a 20, 30 million project. Turns out, no. Clair Obscur. Yes. How many millions did it cost? Yes, millions. You know, from 1 to 10. How many millions, just millions, did this game cost to make? 5. Clair Obscur, 33 people team. 5 fucking million. Yeah, that is insane. That is insane. And well, actually, it's not really insane. I kind of knew that this is possible. You probably also knew that this is possible, right? But the bloat of budgets and all of these things made me personally think that yeah, we're never actually gonna see a game uh be made, of this quality below, your estimate 13 mil, right? But yeah, they proved that this is possible. They proved that game development does not have to be a 500 million investment. Something something Star Wars Outlaws, something something. Pretty much everything that the AAA industry has pumped out in the last year. I'm pretty sure not a single AAA project, by the way, at this point in gaming is costing less than 500 mil. I'm almost willing to bet my life on the fact that it's not. GTA 6 is gonna cost 1 billion. And honestly, considering how bloated everything is, shit, I'm surprised GTA 6 is not costing 2 billion to make.
Of. All of those ideas or methods, those reasons for making games, they exist. They're fine on their own. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with chasing those things purely from a business perspective. What I am saying is that this focus has consequences. We're not seeing enough in the industry today around investing in things that just deserve to exist. This obsession with marketability and monetization, it all comes about because of productized thinking. Games have become productized. Games as a service, as opposed to games because they're just fun. The whole point of a game is
Funky way to say it, but yeah, the keys, right?
to be entertainment. Imagine saying this is a movie for a service, or this is a TV show, or a book for a service. Just because games can be very retentive doesn't mean the right way to build every game is to turn it into some sort of service. And worse, often the people who should be being served, the audience, the ones paying for it, are instead the ones being exploited. So many games with this game as a service business model feel just predatory.
By the way, I don't remember this guy too much. I don't remember if he's woke or not. But I think the last time we watched his video, he had a really horrible take.
Everything about them feels intended to try and take advantage, to take as much money as possible. The balance is completely off. And I'm tired of it. I'm not the only one, right? There's so
Okay, no. If a game has, listen, people fucking play Maple Story and are addicted to it, and that game's whole point of existing is just to make you spend money on it, okay? But people are not really complaining about it that much, which is kind of insane, you may think. But the reality is, people are not really upset about these games because they try to extort money from you. If a game does it blatantly, I'm actually pretty fine with that. Now, it's not the greatest thing, but that's at least something I can kind of accept because I understand it. The biggest problem that people honestly have with games that try to extort as much money from you as possible I think people are upset when that happens because that implies that they are doing so much more. Okay, they are slowing your progression. That they are putting ads in your face. That they are making it so you are forced to buy these things. They are ruining the game experience. They are artificially extending your playtime as much as possible so you spend money in the shop. They do all of these things. Honestly, if a game has blatant pay to win, fuck. If it's a PvP game and the best player is gonna be one of the biggest balls, I'm just not gonna play that shit. If it's a single player game and that has absolutely no impact, I don't care. Make it pay to win. I literally have never cared about shit like that. Now, admittedly, that's probably a hot opinion, a hot take in this case because most people do care. I don't. But the moment you make a game, try to extort as much money from me as possible, but waste my time also intentionally and ruin the game and the game's quality because of it, I think that's where the vast majority of players have a problem.
So many people out there who are kind of exhausted by it. They're tired of being exploited. This is, I think, why games like Kingdom Come Deliverance and now Expedition 33 hit so hard.
Oh damn, we need to watch Oh, I need to remember this. Because Vavra literally came out as a shill. Oh, I need to remember that we need to watch or read about it.
Right now. They feel different. They feel like a breath of fresh air. They feel like entertainment again. If we look at the current model for deciding what games should get invested, this team should never have made this game. Think about it. 5 years ago, when they started, Persona was fine, Final Fantasy was there, but JRPGs and turn-based mechanics weren't massive. They weren't something. And
this is such a corrupt way of thinking. Oh, that something has no. We have completely abandoned the concept of new discovery, of being the first to explore a new path. We have completely abandoned it. We only walk the walk that someone else has already walked for us. We are only looking into things that someone else has deemed safe for us in the game industry. This is the big problem.
An investor would look at and go, oh yeah, huge market opportunity. On top of this, 5 years ago, remember, mid-pandemic crazy, most people were investing heavily in social, highly competitive multiplayer. Everything had to be social, DLC, monetization. That's where the money was perceived to be. We've seen the result of this kind of thinking with Concord. All these shooters chasing the same perceived market. Those decisions to make these games happened 4 or 5 years ago. At the exact same time, Expedition 33 was just getting started. In an environment when pretty much everyone was probably saying, you're crazy if you're not making a social live service product, the Expedition 33 team.
By the way, from a business standpoint, this never made sense to me. So, your business strategy for making a new game is effectively trying to scoop like 1% of the player base off of Fortnite? Because that's what it boils down to a lot of these shitty games, right? A lot of these uninspired bad games. Oh, Fortnite is successful. Let's try to scoop up 1% of the player base from there because that's safer than doing something that people would like just in general. It's fucking crazy.
Team went ahead and effectively said, yes, stuff you. They said, we are desperate to make this game, one with a dishonored art style, with French narrative influences, with incredibly unique gameplay. They just said, stuff off.
Is this even remotely close to a Dishonored art style, by the way? I mean, press X to doubt.
Off to the prevailing trends. They bucked that and built something dominantly based on passion. There is nothing about this game by today's standard investment logic which suggests it should exist. And yet, look at the reaction. There's no reason it should have gone as viral as it has, except for the fact that it is just a good game that has a passionate team that were desperate to make it. It's enjoyable to play. You feel safe playing it, not like you're constantly being sized up for your wallet. It's a narrative-driven game. You know it's going to end. It respects your time. So if the current model would have rejected Expedition 33, but the game is clearly resonating, what does it say about the current model? It says the thinking is broken. It's driven by this flawed productization, and particularly by an over-reliance on analytics. Too many games are excessively analytics driven. Again, I'm not saying analytics are fundamentally bad, but I am saying we index.
This is this is this is such a safe take. This whole video is kind of like super safe. You know, let's thread the line between industry friendly and, well, the industry could kind of be wrong at places.
Way too much into that data when
But maybe I'm the only one who thinks like that. I don't know.
making decisions about what should exist or not. Because what does the data actually show? It all shows the same result. It all tells the same story, born from whatever SteamDB is highlighting right now, or whatever that you can pull from Newzoo. So they look at that data and they say, well, Kingdom Come Deliverance and these other single-player RPGs are very successful today, so you should make one. And then teams use that same data, pitch that same idea, and get funding because the data makes sense today. I'm going to wager a bet. I might be wrong.
Wait, is his stake? Oh, you can't try to chase after industry trends because when you're gonna be finished, it's gonna be, you know, minimum 4 years into the future, and the whole thing is gonna change. Oof.
But right now, I'm pretty sure everyone is probably pitching single-player role-playing games.
Oh yeah, press X to doubt.
I almost guarantee.
Again, Baldur's Gate. Well, maybe it actually is true because Baldur's Gate happened, and, well, nothing else is kind of happening. But we have not heard about any new big things. And also, Dragon Age Railguard was a single-player game. Roleplay, established trans identity. Anyone? Very cool. Very, very cool. And it was a failure. I mean, I don't think people are pitching single-player role-playing games that much.
You. They're saying, look at the current success of games like Kingdom Come, etc., etc. And the game idea is basically Kingdom.
Yeah, Kingdom Come Deliverance is gonna be dead. The next game that Warhorse makes is gonna be a disaster. Okay? Every channel on YouTube is gonna just go through the ringer with Warhorse Studios. Now, again, Kingdom Come Deliverance is not woke, but it's literal propaganda. If you get far enough, you know what I'm talking about.
Kingdom Come Deliverance 3 with a small team. That's the expectation based on today's snapshot.
Okay, listen, the only thing that... Okay, I'm gonna be real with you, okay? Clair Obscur, Expedition 33, was successful because they just had a hot redhead, okay? That's it. That's it. That's what gaming needs, okay? We have found the solution to global hunger, to all of the bad things in the world. It's just petite, beautiful, fine redheads, okay? That's it. That's all the world requires. Make redhead, bam, bam, bam. It is what it is. It's very simple. 10 out of 10, in fact. The easiest thing I have ever seen in my life. Anyway, that was... Come on. Can't see it. But anyway, Andrew Chambers. Okay? 10 out of 10. Bye.